Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the West End Imps show. As always, I am joined by Mr. K. Chris, how are we doing, mate?
Good evening, mate. Yeah, very well, thanks.
Yeah, good to talk about a win that we've both seen, rather than have jibes at us that one of us haven't been to the game. Not to mention any names. Last night, then, Chris, Derby County at home. A game I don't think any of us were expecting to win, given the chats that we sort of had 5-10 minutes before kickoff. Given the fact that
Yeah,
Derby spent a lot of money and stuff like that, that they're a decent outfit, aren't they?
yeah. Big club. Got a good squad actually, I think, and yeah, I actually thought we might get something from the game. I didn't think we'd necessarily win, but I did think we might get something from the game just because, and I think a few people are kind of talking about it, is the way that teams that want to play football set up against us suits us because it gives us an opportunity to play our game of football in a much more kind of positive way rather than having to do necessarily quick transitions over the top. We look to break on the floor as was shown last night almost perfectly. But yeah, I felt we could get something from the game.
And then it just, like we said, I think we said before, didn't we? Said like during the build up to the game, because obviously we didn't have a game on Saturday. It felt a little bit about the Sheffield Wednesday home game last season aura, with Derby bringing 2,000 fans, Lincoln needing to really pull a win out of thin air at home. It gave you them sort of vibes, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great atmosphere actually. The Derby fans contributed to that. Obviously, 617 display. I guess probably some emotion around the game with the passing of the Queen. So that there was a lot going on last night. But yeah, I think in terms of the size of club coming to visit us, yeah, similarities certainly. Although I have to say, Wednesday fans were a bit rowdier than the Derby fans.
Yeah, Slim Shady, absolutely, no doubt. Talking about the team lineup, then obviously Matty Virtue came in for his first start. Jack Diamond made a home debut. Ben House was the main talking point, playing up front. What did you make of that team news when it came into your notifications about 6:45 last night?
Yeah, I liked it when I saw it. I think we were talking about would House play in the 9 or would Garrick play a bit? So there was a few questions about who might play where, but really like the look of the team. We'll probably talk about individual performances as we go through, but I think the back four, maybe there was possibly a little bit of anxiety about TJ, who we know hasn't been at his best over the last sort of few months, I guess. But yeah, Virtue starting, Jack Diamond starting. Really pleased with that. Nice to have Garrick back from injury. So yeah, it looked on paper like it was probably the best we had, given the ongoing injuries that we've still got so many other players like Walshy and Sanders and the missing Mandrio.
Yeah, the YouTube star that we'll never probably ever see. Thinking then that 10-day gap that we had after the Cambridge game, it's probably done Mark Kennedy the world of good. You could tell that in the first half, because Jack Diamond, well, Matty Virtue and specifically Jack Diamond, you could tell had a week's worth of training with the club, with Mark, and how he wants to do things. And ultimately that sort of came about in the penalty, didn't it? Diamond picking the ball up, running directly at the Derby defence. And Jason Knight, who's someone I've watched grow up when I used to cover the Derby 18s, commits the foul, whether it's a foul or not. I disagree with the referee. I don't think it was a penalty. I've spoke to Gaz. Gaz has said it is a penalty, but the only man whose decision that mattered in that moment was the referee, and the referee chose to give it. What were your thoughts on the penalty, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it's given, so it's a penalty. I think probably initially my thoughts were, I'm not sure that is a penalty, but I think the run into the box from Jack Diamond was excellent. The build-up play was really nice, and he gave the ref a choice to make. He forced a decision, and that's all he can ask. And I think if it had been them getting that penalty, I'm sure we'd have all been up in arms saying no way it was a dive. But ultimately, to me, it probably was, and it obviously was because it was given. So I'm happy with the referee's decision, and stuck it away brilliantly, didn't they?
Yeah, good to see Jack Diamond getting his first goal. It's always good for attacking players to come in and break their duck pretty much straight away. Staying in the first half, then obviously you would imagine after conceding, Derby would have to react. I thought they did pretty well, to be honest. They kept the ball really tidily in areas. Conor Hoolahan ran the midfield. I thought Dobbin and Mendes Lang on both sides had particularly good halves. And then obviously it ended up with an offside goal. Collins stuck it away, but the flag was raised. But also Carl Rushworth we have to give a big mention to, because he performed really well that first half, making a couple of really good saves.
Yeah, I think they're a very good side. There's no hiding away from that. They're a very good side. Well drilled, really nice pockets of play. Nice quick one touch, bringing other players in wide areas, and they had a lot of possession, I guess, but I don't think we really allowed them to do a great deal with it. I think we were very, very disciplined, and I think that for me it looked a little bit like it was a 4-2-3-1 as opposed to a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-1-1 type of. And I think having Sorensen and Matty Virtue playing those two sort of holding, 4-6 or double sixes or whatever numerical numbers you want to put on it, but I think that gave us a really good solid foundation, and the goal was offside. I think there's no real arguments about that, the first one, and it was a case of just getting to half time with that slender 1-0 lead. But I don't think we were overly threatened in that first period. I felt a lot more anxious in the there was about 15-20 minutes in the second half, which we'll come on to.
Yeah, one thing I do want to touch on quickly before that happened in the first half before we move on. Teddy Bishop going off injured looked like a hamstring tear. Mark Kennedy, I don't think he was able to confirm what it was or how long Teddy would be out for, but it looked like a hamstring tear. However, Tashan looked pretty capable when he came on. I thought he did pretty well. Probably looked a bit more comfortable in the 10 than he did in the 8s or the 6s, or like you say, whatever mathematical number you want to put on it. It probably looked better in that role advance where he could get up and support Ben House and do the pressing, because that's what he's quite good at.
Yeah, I think it was a real shame for Teddy Bishop to go off, crying out to see him play in that number 10-ish role. And I thought he played well, actually, up until the ill-timed injury. But certainly agree with you. For me, it was probably Oakley Booth's best performance. I think he played well in the Fleetwood game, actually, as well. Yeah. But I think last night, I think you're right, playing a little bit further forward. He didn't have that defensive responsibility as much, or it wasn't specific. He obviously contributed defensively, but he wasn't there to hold. And I think we saw signs of the quality that he does have.
And second half then, I don't think there was much to talk about in the sort of early stages of the second half. It sort of changed when David McGoldrick and Tom Barkhazen came on for Derby. Obviously, two players who last year were doing really well in the Championship. I do want to talk about one thing before we talk about the goals, etc. The save from Carl Rushworth. I think the ball come across on the right-hand side on the floor. I think it was Tom Barkhazen destined to score, but that goalkeeper, special players make big moments, and that was a massive moment in the context of the result, wasn't it?
Huge, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think I turned to you and Arluca and said that's won us the match, because at that point I just thought, it's a ridiculous save. That's 99 times out of 100, that's in the back of the net. And I think as the cross came in, we were all there going, oh no, here we go. And I think if that goes in, the game completely swings Derby's favour. So for me, that's a match-winning, save. Exceptional, brilliant all night, actually. Couple of times, I think from corners, he maybe just flapped or got lost a little bit in the crowd. But his shot stopping and kind of goalkeeping attributes are exceptional. We're very lucky to have it. I think we had a brief chat, didn't we, thinking actually this kid's better than Palmer, who we highly, highly rated.
Yeah, definitely better than what we had last season. The game was really won in a matter of minutes in the second half. Another offside goal for Derby. I've watched it back because I don't know if you have. 3-on-1 they were. TJ on his own at the back. I think TJ, who obviously had a much better performance in the Cambridge game, does really well to slow down the speed at which Derby are breaking at.
Yeah,
Forces it out to the left-hand side, and I think it's the most simple pass. I've spoken to my mate Boz, who's a big Derby fan. He is fuming with the Derby front line and Mendes Lang for not being able to stay onside, but he is offside and the linesman got it right. And it's
yeah.
even better when you see the away fans go and celebrate and absolutely lose the plot like they did for it to be called off. I mean, I was breathing a sigh of relief. I don't know about you.
Oh, massively so. Yeah, I think when they broke over that halfway line and it was 2 on TJ, you have to credit TJ. He did really well in that situation. He had 2. He was going from one to the other. And when it got into the sort of 18-yard area, he just held them up and they had to then come back. So really, really, really impressive performance from TJ last night, given the sort of difficulties he's had. But yeah, I think Jack Mulhall tweeted, there's nothing better than seeing away fans cheer a goal that's then disallowed. And 60 seconds later, game over.
Yeah, Ben House, I think it was work from Jack Diamond down the left-hand side. I think it practically came from the free kick that we took for the offside. Jack Diamond managed to, fortunately, find Ben House, and this is a moment that I'm sure he won't forget. His first goal at Sinsel Bank opens his body up really nicely under, the bodies of 3 or 4 Derby players, not fans. God, if it was fans, we'd be in trouble. 3 or 4 Derby players, and coolly slots into the bottom corner, and then cue the absolute raptures, because we knew at that point that that's probably the game done.
Yeah, I felt it was game done at that point. How Ben House has had that much time in, 10 yards from goal, I don't know. I thought that was really poor defending, but I think Diamond had kind of had a shot and it had bounced over to House, hadn't he? And it was a really lovely finish. I think he kind of toe poked it a little bit into the bottom corner, but a really well-deserved goal and a really well-deserved win. I think we were the better team on the night. Made a very good Derby side look pretty ordinary. I felt that everyone, all players involved in the game, just put in a really, really exceptional performance. And we don't want to get too carried away, but I do feel that we're really starting to see those signs of what Mark Kennedy's trying to do. And I think going back to what you said earlier, that sort of 10 days on the grass at the training at the EPC has been invaluable.
And you know what I'm going to ask you for now? I know the answer because we spoke about it last night. Your man of the match. We've actually picked different people this week, which would be nice.
Yeah, I've really ummed and ahed since we spoke last night. Rushworth was mine last night because I just think there was some really good saves, but that one save second half at 1-0, that pipped it for me. But I do also think it's worth giving honourable mention to Sean Rowan, who was outstanding and looks to me like he might have nailed that left back place down. Big fans of Robson, both you and I are, but I just think Rowan has matured so much with that loan last season, and he just was excellent. And we mentioned it last night in the stands. Diamond, Rowan, Poole to a degree, forgive my language, but these guys are shithouses, and we need that. And good teams need 2 or 3 of those in the side. I guess it's what we hoped we'd get from Maguire, but not at our own fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And I went with Jack Diamond. I think speaking to Gaz and Ben and Chris also after the game, they went for Sean Rowan. It was pretty much convincing, but I went for Diamond purely because his running at the Derby defence. They couldn't hack him. The ball looked like it was super glued to his foot all night. Did the gritty parts really well, defended when he needed to. Didn't think he had that in him based on his performance at Cambridge. But nonetheless, 3 points, and it moves us up into 16th, 1 point behind big Derby County.
Yeah.
Looking ahead to
and
Bristol.
only about 3 points off the playoffs. I think it's a very tight squeeze.
Let's not get a nosebleed. We are in September. Right, Chris. Bristol Rovers on Saturday. Me and you are both going to be there. One we're looking forward to.
Yeah, I am, particularly more so now that I've seen Joey Barnes' comments about us lumping it forward, and I think that's either him being really ignorant, which I don't think he is from a footballing perspective. I suspect it's a little bit of mind game trickery, but I don't expect Kennedy to get sucked into any of that. But yeah, slightly odd comments, because we haven't been that type of side for some time, I don't think.
Yeah, you do worry about Joey Barton and his scouting team if they're thinking that we're going to lump the ball forward. Anyway, that's all we've got time for this week. We'll be back on Sunday. There will be a preview, hopefully go up either Thursday or Friday. I'm just trying to confirm the guests. So that will come out on Friday, more likely. Making sure Charlie can come on. But any final words, Chris, for on Derby County, the great win?
No, I think we've covered it. I just think everyone put in an exceptional performance, and I think it was really good that there was such a connection again, and Kennedy's built this connection with the fans again, and you could tell that when everyone's staying and applauding for so long. And I just think that we need to back it up now, don't we? Those are the types of teams that we're going to, I think, play our best football against and get our best results from. It's the games like the Fleetwood that we've had, and potentially like the Bristol Rovers coming up, that they're the kind of dirty ones that we also need to be picking points up and winning, so that we can have two sides to our game.
Yeah, also, just before we do wrap up, just a big shout out to all those that observed the minute silence correctly, and also sang the national anthem during a really tough time for the country. So majority of pretty much all the Lincoln fans and majority of Derby fans, massive thumbs up for you guys for doing that. Right, that will be the end of it. Please make sure that you like, comment and subscribe. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I say it every week, but we are inching ever closer. So if you could give us a drop us a sub, a like, give me and Chris a follow on Twitter. Our links are in the description below. But for now, Chris, up the Imps.
Up the Imps. See you Saturday.